Playing the Castlevania games from the first one on, there are several sub-weapons that play a large part in the gameplay of each title. These sub-weapons all make sense for the experienced vampire hunters within the Castlevania universe. The Holy Cross, the Hand Axe, the Silver Dagger, and the Holy Water Flask are all weapons that are highly effective against vampires, zombies, and other creatures of the night. And then there's the Stopwatch. The Stopwatch is a funny weapon to throw into a game involving vampires and other horror creatures. From a gameplay standpoint, it makes more sense as a fun item to freeze time and take advantage of enemy placement and escape. But what about from a lore standpoint? How does a stopwatch make any kind of sense for the Belmonts and their allies to use to kill monsters? And for that matter, how the hell did they get their hands on such a potentially powerful artifact in the first place? To tackle these absurd questions that nobody asked, we have to touch upon the occasions in the series where time travel has cropped up. The first point would be during Castlevania Curse of Darkness in the in-game year of 1479 with the introduction of Saint Germain. Germain is an individual who hints at having knowledge of the future and speaks to Hector of destiny, as well as having the ability to pass through time. He also suggests that he has some awareness of the Demon Castle War of 1999. Koji Igarashi has said that Saint Germain is a part of a group he dubbed the Time Watchers, which comes up again in Castlevania Judgement with the introduction of Aeon. In conflict with the Demon Lord Galamoth and his Time Reaper, Aeon seeks to maintain the timeline and prevent its divergence in the time flow, much like Saint Germain. So we know that a group called the Time Watchers is a part of the Castlevania universe, and that while they tend to be observers only, they occasionally step in to maintain the proper timeline, a common theme in other media. With this in mind, we come back to the stopwatch subweapon and how it starts to make a bit more sense in retrospect. What if the Time Watchers are the ones who gave the mystical stopwatch to the Belmont family in order to aid them in their fight against evil and aid in the maintaining of the flow of destiny? The stopwatch only pauses the flow of time for a few moments, thus it isn't something that will cause major damage to the flow of time itself. So when did the stopwatch come into possession of the Belmonts? Leon did not have it during his time in Lament of Innocence, but Trevor does have it in 1476 in his fight against Dracula, so the family has had the relic since at least Trevor's age. In fact, the sub-weapon can be used by Sypha, Grant, and Alucard as well, meaning it's not only usable by just the Belmonts. Alucard was able to use one in 1797 during the events of Symphony of the Night, as can Richter Belmont, which begs the question if there is only one of these stopwatches available, or multiple ones that are around for hunters to use. Regardless, the stopwatch not only plays a part in the fight against Dracula and his minions, but seems like it was purposefully given to the Belmonts for this task, and that the importance of the war against Dracula is enough that the Time Watchers decided to intervene with adding it to the Belmonts' arsenal. It certainly is a powerful weapon to use in the war against Dracula and the forces of evil, meaning that Dracula's presence in history itself could be causing fluxes in the time that necessitates the use of such relics as the stopwatches. This is, of course, just a theory, but since the lore building that Igarashi did to the series, it knits some of the silly little inclusions of the series into something a bit more cohesive, and this could be one of those instances. Thanks for watching, and please hit the subscribe button for more Castlevania lore and theories.